before we get into the video, I would like suggestions for this. Before we get into the actual what if. Suggestions, please. I've been wanting to make a what if around this picture for like a good 2 months now, and have had absolutely no idea how, so your support would be very much so appreciated. Anyway, hello, my lovely audience. Welcome to another video. So then, sorry for the lack of uploads. I know I normally, upload once every 3 days, and it's been 5 days. School has become very hectic, but, I'm gonna be done soon, I guess. Well, my term's gonna end soon. So, hopefully I'll be able to pick up the uploads again. Sorry for that. Anyway, I know I already did a what if based around this idea. Consider this the redo, or just consider that a kind of draft for this. And yes, I watched the most recent JJK episode with this fucker in it, and yes, I absolutely fucking adored it. Kinda disappointed that Maharaga didn't, grow axe hands or anything, but he didn't do that in the manga, so I'm fine with it. Maharaga. How did I pronounce it the first time? It was, actually really good. I'll have to rewatch the video. Anyway, so, yeah. With that out of the way, let's just get on with the what if. Our what if starts in a dark room, an almost clinical one, as someone would press record on a tape recorder and say, "Alright, Mr. Katsuki, please explain your experiences. Make sure to speak loudly so the mic can pick up your voice." Yeah, okay. Me and my ma and father and pa and best friend Zuku and Auntie Inko and Uncle Hisashi. Give me a moment. And Uncle Hisashi were all out celebrating Zuku having recently got his quirk. And, well, one moment we were all on the street while walking down it, chatting happily, and the next, a car comes flying by and Auntie Inko gets crushed. It happened very quickly. She was nailed to the wall by it. Hisashi and Izuku got tackled, and I blacked out. And when I woke up, everything was on fire. And, well, I heard fighting. I assumed All Might had come to help us, but what was there wasn't All Might. Sure, it smiled like All Might, but it was a monster. Both of them were monsters. The little boy, no older than 4 or 5, would start shaking and lightly crying, unable to process the memory of what happened. The interrogator would urge him to continue with a nudge. Katsuki, yes, we all know it's Katsuki, would wipe the tears and continue. My ma and pa were alright. They were unconscious next to me, but they were alright. But pa was bleeding from his head. But back to the monster. It was a solid 8 foot tall and had a set of crests or bony protrusions coming out of it. In case you're curious, Bakugo had memorized a dictionary. to like flex on his friends. Yeah, he read and memorized a dictionary to be like, I'm smarter than you. But back to the what if. It had a set of crests on its head protruding from it. Not wings. I don't think the wings on Maharaga serve a purpose aside from looking cool. So they're a set of crests. Their use will be explained later on. And it had 4 holes in its face. I think they were nostrils. They were around where the nose would be, if it had one. This 8-foot monster. It muscular. He lost. That's all I'm gonna say. But back to the description of this thing. It didn't have cheeks or lips, just teeth and a blade on its hand. Its skin was pale and had a type of tentacle on the back of its head, covered in thin, small hairs. It was weird. Is Auntie Inka or is Zuku gonna be alright? How do I break this to you, kid? Your auntie and uncle aren't gonna make it out. They're not gonna be okay. And your friend Zuku, cut the tapes. Yeah, so in case you're curious, that was a cat. But yes, the tapes would be cut, and we would do a bit of a time skip. A 14-year-old looking person with green hair, green long hair. One said hair is covering one of his eyes. Would be walking down the road with someone with white hair and bright blue eyes behind him. Zuku, we all know the green-haired one's Zuku. Freckles and green eyes. Would be walking with a slouched posture, taking, white steps. Think like the Doflamingo walk, but less One Piece. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. Think like just how a normal person would walk. He's walking slouched and slumpily, basically. The person walking behind him is practically on cloud 9. Like, he's just dancing as he steps, like walking smugly, dancing as he steps, spinning, swinging his arms. He's on cloud 9. As he would just, say, hey, Zoo. Hey, Zoo. Hey, Zoo. Give me a moment. Zoo, that's what you get for trying to, date outside of the OPC. OPC. Trying to date out of the OPC. Everyone's absolutely terrified of us. In case you're curious, the OPC Foundation is something that I'm borrowing from another What If. Look up What If Deku ran an orphanage on YouTube. Yeah, everything will be explained in that series, but basically, an OPC is an overpowered child. Yes, I know, creative. Now, the gist of an OPC is a child with a quirk so strong they can't function properly in, day-to-day life. They can function properly in day-to-day life. They're just an orphan with an impossibly strong quirk. So naturally they have to be contained and made sure that they're not going to become a villain. quote-unquote corrected into heroic behaviors. In case... but yeah, give me a moment. But the funny thing is, the OPC Foundation actually ends up, like, creating more villains than they end up not. But, yeah. Anyway, so, we get back to our white-haired guy and Zuko. Like, really? Everyone's who even knows what the hell an OPC is absolutely terrified of us. So of course she'd cheat. Especially after that, incident a couple dozen years ago. Can you shut up, Shoji? Yeah, that's the white-haired guy's name, and that's the voice I'm giving to Izuku. Yes. I'm not doing the canon voice, like, ever. That shit would destroy my throat and my muscles. I would vomit my own intestines from sheer cringe of doing that voice. Like, I can't do that voice. Shoji, do you ever know when to shut up? Oh, come on, Zoo. Come on. We both knew it would happen, and we both knew it was dumb for you to try and even go after that girl. So, have a drink with me or something. First, Izuku would sigh and turn to face, Shoji Tomura. That's his name, Shoji Tomura. Izuku would turn to face him and say, "Oh my fuck, can you shut up? Can you... You know what? No, Toji, not Shoji. Toji. Because, yeah. Izuku would say, "Oh my goodness, can you shut the fuck up, Toji? I'm, first of all, we're too young to drink. Second of all, this is an actually serious situation, and I'm actually hurt by this right now." Yeah, well, that's what happens when you date someone who isn't an OPC and is 2 years older than you. In case you're curious, the legal age in Japan is 16. What does this have to do with it? Izuku's, quote-unquote girlfriend at the time was found, how you would say, sucking on a sausage whilst having one in her, rectum, if you get what I mean. Like, 2 guys at once. Izuku walked in on it because, he wanted to bring her flowers. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about this, because I don't want my 400 subscriber special to be flagged down by YouTube. So, yeah. That aside, Toji would just chuck a Coca-Cola, at Izuku as he would, grab it and open it, chug it. He would chug it like it's a Coca-Cola can, and he would chug it like an alcoholic drinking a beer bottle. He would then crush it in his hand and throw it in a trash can. As Toji would go, "Huh, caffeine addiction faring you well, I see." Zuko would respond with, "Can you please take this seriously for once? I was actually quite fond of this one." Yeah, find it odd how you've already had, like, 2 girlfriends at the age of 14. Kinda weird, don't you think? Look, the whole being an OPC thing comes with its, alluring charm, but once they learn what OPC I am in specific, yeah. It's also weird how both of them cheated. can we not talk about this like anything else? Please. Also, there's the fact that yeah, sure, whatever. Sensitive much. But anyway, I actually saw how you were looking at that one super OPC girl. In case you're curious, a super OPC, also from the What If, a super OPC is an overpowered child who is physically incapable of functioning in society. Example, uh, let's take Keeper from that actual What If series. Keeper had the quirk Blood Boost, where she could drink someone's blood and get stronger. She needed to drink human blood in order to survive, and her quirk made her significantly stronger whenever she drank blood. Her at full power was like basically building breaker. Now, her issue was she kept breaking stuff because of her quirk. Now, the reason she was a regular OPC is because she could simply just not touch things, or just drink a lower amount of blood, so her quirk wasn't as strong. Now, someone who would be a super OPC is someone who would have like a mutation type quirk that basically makes them a walking nuclear reactor. They're physically stronger, faster, have practically an unlimited amount of stamina, all that shit, but they're bleeding radiation like no tomorrow. Their blood is basically coolant, so if they get cut, and bleed out too much, boom, yeah, that would be a super OPC. Like, for example, Keeper, her containment measures, like just having her in a reinforced room, or with like strength quirk designed items, or just having her not touch things. Yeah. If her containment measure were to fail, yeah, she could just choose not to touch things. A super OPC, if their containment measure fails, we're fucked type thing. Like if nuclear reactor boy bled out too much, he's taking out Hiroshima. Or if he was just allowed to roam the streets, he'd basically be Godzilla, because, just everywhere around him would be irradiated as all fuck. Yeah, fun fact about Godzilla, wherever he walks, just no longer livable. Like every time you see in a monster movie, you see him running around in a city, that is like hundreds of blocks of space just being deemed unlivable. So, yeah. Anyway, rant aside, let's get back to the What If. Toji would continue by saying, I saw how you and that super OPC girl were looking at each other. Why don't, you two, try something? Like, you're probably one of the few people who can be who can even be near her without being at risk of dying, so, why don't you try it out? Izuku would just kind of turn to look at Toji while still walking, angrily glaring at him, as he would just say, I think I've had enough of the whole dating thing, firstly, and secondly, why are you so untrusting of anyone who isn't a part of the OPC Foundation? Like, they treat us like shit. Well, not us like shit, they're too scared to treat us specifically like shit, but they treat everyone else like shit. Toji would just say, look, they gossip about us behind our backs. I'm aware of that. I'm also fully aware that most of the adults in the OPC Foundation can go can go fuck themselves, in my opinion, but, like, come on. Birds of a feather flock together and all that. Zuko would, like, give him a disinterested glare before turning away from him, still walking. Like, they're out on the street right now. Like, they both have collars on them that read OPCs. You know, in this what if I'm deeming that the teenage OPCs are allowed to wander the streets. As long as they have collars. So that, you know, people know this is a walking nuclear warhead. Well, obviously that would fall under the classification of super OPC, which is just not allowed to leave. But I digress. Give me a moment. Fucky wucky. By accidentally stopping the recording, so sorry about that. So I'm gonna have to fix that in editing. Anyway, so yeah. So Toji would sigh, like slumping a bit, stopping his thug man walk. He would slump, like, and say, you're boring. Well, you're being so boring right now. Fine. Anyway. Cat. Just cat wants in. To my bathroom where I'm recording this. Sure, Toji. Be like, you're so boring right now. Anyway, sorry, burp. Do you have any plans for, like, oh shit. Any plans for the future, or, like, you know, anything along those lines? You know, high schools you want to go to, such and such? Zuko would turn around to face Toji, once again seeming quite annoyed, as he would say, personally, I would stay out of the hero gig. But guess what? But I overheard some staff members talking about how they're gonna get the both of us into UA. Toji would just kind of, well, make a over-exaggerated hand gesture, or as he would put it on his head and be like, oh no, us actually putting our quirks to good use. How horrible. Oh shit, sorry, cat. Why do you walk in front of me so much? Come here. Come here. Sorry if my voice sounds shaky. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why, I just am, like, shaky right now. But, yeah. Anyway, good grief. Give me a moment. Izuku would respond with, well, to Toji's overdramaticism. Good grief. You're impossible to make. You're impossible to be in a. You're impossible to get sad. You know what? Yeah. Let's. You know what? Yeah, let's just chill at a ramen stand for a while. How does that sound? Toji would respond with, there's my big guy smile. Yeah, of course it sounds great. Only if you're paying, though. Zuko would just give him a unimpressed look as he would say, you're shameless. Toji would respond with, I know. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Zuko and Toji would take the, well, just voluntarily take the recommendations exam. Voluntarily, emphasis on that, because regardless if they failed or got past it or skipped it, they would be put into UA. Why? Well, the two of them, the two of them respectively, are kind of on the top of the OPC hierarchy, as you would say. Like, for example, how do I say this? They're kind of bordering on the lines. Well, not bordering, they are kind of knee deep on the lines of being regular old OPC and being a super OPC. The only reason they aren't super OPCs is because they actually have, well, control over their quirks and can exist in normal society. And yeah, they're basically on the top of the OPC hierarchy in the facility that they live in their OPC facility that they stay at. Anyway, so yeah, give me a moment. I guess I should just get right into the ball throw because they do well on the privates exam, and I have no idea what the privates exam actually was. So yeah. Sorry if I don't seem energetic. Once again, voice is shaky, body shaky for no reason. I think I might be sick, or I might have, caught something, or the symptoms are just showing mid video recording, which sucks. 5 minutes? Huh. Thought it was longer than that. So yeah, I'll just get right into the ball through. You know what? No. No. No, 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 no. Give me a moment. So, Tochi and Izuku would join UA, a couple days after, orientation. Reason being, simply blackmail. Once again, the OPC Foundation is just kind of this part of the government that exists, but it has about as much funding as the, American attempts at ending homelessness. In other words, majority of the money gets embezzled, and or they just don't get paid that much. Kind of flickers on and off between the two. So it took a lot of blackmail to get Toji and Izuku into UA. Yeah, it took a lot of blackmail, like a fucking fuck ton. They pulled out everything. So they would join on the day of the heroes versus villains. Now, I will explain Toji's quirk when it comes to be, and yes, Izuku's quirk. Oh shit. Izuku's quirk is adaptation. Well, hyper adaptation. Basically, his body adapts to stimuli. Pain, well, you'll see what it does later. Well, in a couple of moments. Anyway, Izuku and Bakugo, just quick explanation. They're actually kind of rival friends, as you would say. The reason Mitsuki didn't adopt Izuku is because she couldn't afford it. Well, oh, nah. No, that's not. You actually get paid for adopting OPCs, oh shit. The reason she didn't adopt Izuku is... You know what? I'm just gonna ignore that. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that plot hole. You can fill it in the comments. So, yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that plot hole. Anyway, yeah, Izuku and Bakugo had a kind of rocky relationship after the first, 3 years or so, but eventually it kind of evolved into a friend. Well, rival, more like friendly rivals type of relationship. Izuku's quirk basically makes him the perfect counter to Bakugo. Just based off principle. So obviously Bakugo wants to get better so he can beat Izuku. And it's kind of become a competition, well, pseudo competition between the two to see who can, well, overpower the first, well, each other first. Well, more so Bakugo just trying to overpower Izuku, and Izuku just going along with it because Bakugo's quirk is actually kind of hard to deal with. Yeah. Anyway, so heroes versus villains. Bakugo and Izuku would be put on the heroes team, and Toji and Ida would be put on the villains team. Now, yeah, basically, Bakugo and Izuku, after a lot of yelling, like a fuck ton, would come to a similar strategy as in canon, because Izuku knows Toji, and he knows that he's been itching to fight Izuku, itching to fight him, because he wants to prove he's the toughest in the facility. They were just not allowed to do it, for self-explanatory reasons. But yeah, Toji wants to show he's the strongest. Izuku isn't exactly it. So, yeah. They would come up with a similar plan to canon. You know, Bakugo rushes past Izuku, and Izuku takes Toji. So, oh, good fucking grief. Yeah, I'm definitely sick because I can't think good. Gonna have to re-record this in the morning. Preferably. Hopefully. Because I might just get lazy and decide not to. Anyway, so, yeah. Present. Yeah, in case you're curious, the All Might thing just goes the same as canon, except Izuku and Toji were not exactly interested with All Might. Well, Izuku's still an All Might fanboy. He's just much better at dealing with it. Well, not dealing with it, more so just being chill. Essentially, just being chill. Anyway, so, yeah, Bakugo and Izuku would rush in, and Toji's, like, already down the stairs. Like, he's already down the stairs. He would look at Bakugo and Izuku. Izuku would gesture to Bakugo to move, but it would be too late, and Toji would use his quirk. Now, his quirk is called Pocket Dimension, and essentially what this does is it allows him to either A, create portals, or B, teleport things he can see into his pocket dimension. Now, this pocket dimension is, well, essentially a singular point in space that he chooses that's bigger on the inside and smaller on the outside. And he has full control over everything and anything within the pocket dimension. Aside from whatever he puts in there. He can make guns, explosives, weapons, animals, rifles, and while the size of the pocket dimension isn't exactly limited, it's just limited to how big he wants it to be. So, yeah, that's his quirk. He basically, makes a point in space which he's just all-powerful in. And in case you're curious, he can take things in and out of the pocket dimensions. The pocket dimension. He can make a sword inside of the pocket dimension and bring it out. It's just that within an hour, the sword will return to the pocket dimension because it does not belong in our reality. So, yeah. And once again, he can't affect anything outside of his that originate from outside of his pocket dimension. So he could not change anything about you, as an example, but he could make a clone of you and change it however he pleased. Okay. So he would just snap his fingers, and Izuku and Bakugo would be stuck there, just in this endless maze. Toji's feeling like an asshole today, so he just puts them in a maze, like the labyrinth. Bakugo would just look around like, that motherfucker, as he would explode. He would explode upward. Attempt to explode upwards, but his quirk wouldn't work, as he would look up and just see a giant fucking Aizawa. Just, the smiling Aizawa meme? Just imagine that colossally in the sky. Just colossal in the sky. As Izuku would just look up, seeing this, and go, that fucker. As, Bakugo would just, his eye would twitch as he would go, seriously? The fucking meme? Yes, I'm saying the Aizawa smiling meme is canon. To at least this What If, because it's funny. But, yeah. Fun fact, Aizawa's quirk doesn't work on mutation-type quirks, which Izuku's quirk is. Anyway, yeah. Toji would start whistling that was, he would, wipe off his shoulders, wipe dust off it, I'm the best. I did it. I know I'm amazing. We cut inside of the pocket dimension, and it's raining spears. Izuku is getting getting shish kebabbed by dozens of spears. And once again, Toji's just in the real world, chilling, just leaning against the wall, tapping his fingers against it, waiting for the time to run out. As he would just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna walk off, walk around the area. So he would turn around from the little ball, the very tiny, microscopic ball that's the space in which his pocket dimension exists, and he would start walking. Now, Izuku has been using his quirk to try and figure out how Toji's pocket dimension works. So, we cut to the real world. Toji's just walking, and a hand would burst from space. Give me a moment. From space-time, existence would shatter as a hand would burst from it with this black kind of beetle-like thing on it. Oh shit, sorry, cat. Yeah. Pale white hand would burst from space, time, just a random point in space, grab Toji by the head, and slam him into a wall. As Izuku would just walk through space, just breaking open a hole. He's dragging Bakugo along with him as he would just throw him to the side and point backwards as Bakugo would nod, deciding not to fight because he prefers winning over fighting. Weird, I know. And would run off. Toji, who was slammed into a wall by the head, would just kind of pull himself out how the hell did you get out? As Izuku would say, he would say, black beetle things covering his, kind of like balls. Just black balls on his hands, making a weird sound, think the noise of cicadas. Making a cicada-like noise, as Izuku would say, well, you see, while I was in your pocket dimension, I figured out that it was held together by sounds. So, I replicated the frequency and changed the pitch. It shattered. Toji would smirk and say, I knew you wouldn't be that hard. I knew Pause. I knew you wouldn't be that easy. While he would snap his fingers, and a grenade launcher would just, multiple grenade launches would burst from portals, portals would form around him, and multiple grenade launchers would form. And Zuko would extend a set of blades from his upper hands as, well, they would start leaking this chemical and burst into flames. We cut to Bakugo, who's like running up the stairs as he would come. Well, pause. He would enter. He would enter the bomb room. Like he managed to get there. He would see Ida, and we cut back to Izuku and Toji. Toji would jump back onto a platform made inside of one of his portals, as a set of rifles would emerge from portals that would form around him, firing into Izuku. Izuku would walk forwards, gradually growing kind of like plates along, armored plates along his body, as, he would get on his knees and burst forwards at a dramatic pace and speed, dragging his claws across. I'm gonna refer to them as claws, but they're just like blades at the end of his, on his hands, dragging his claws through the ground, whilst creating that cicada noise. As Toji would teleport away. Yes, he can teleport. All it takes is him just using his quirk, putting him inside of his pocket dimension, and then putting him somewhere else. It's not that difficult. Just open a portal here and enter the one from where you're at. He would use quirk to teleport, as Izuku would break through the barrier that Toji was standing on. Toji would open a portal above Izuku, as a missile would just kind of come out of it, like a fucking ballistic US missile would just pop out, activate, and impale him through the chest, then explode. As Toji would jump back, creating several portals, and multiple machine guns would pop out of them, as he would snap his fingers and they would all start firing into the smoke cloud where Izuku was. He would say casually, "Look, give up, we both know who's on top. Well, we both know who's the top dog. Maybe on top once we're older." I'm not exactly picky. As well, the smoke would clear. Toji would stop firing, the smoke would clear, and there's just this ball of stone and armor, as some of the plates would rearrange, as he would hear someone say, "Yeah, sorry, but I'll have to decline that offer." As suddenly, the ball would spring forwards using almost a tail-like appendage that was coiled into it. Burst, and in a burst of speed, Zuko would catapult himself at Toji. Toji would, teleport himself out of there, as Zuko would slam into the concrete. Bursting from the concrete would be a snake, a creature with the lower tail of a snake and the upper body of a boulder. Not like a literal boulder, it's just round boulder shaped. Just curved like that. Think like an armadillo. An armadillo, not armadillo. Armadillo. Just hunched forwards. Yeah, hunched forwards like an armadillo. Round shaped also. As Izuku would turn to face Toji, and he would just slather forwards at full speed, taking bullet after armor-piercing round after sniper rifle after car Yes, he dropped a fucking car on Izuku, as Toji would start giggling like, "Uh, why didn't we fight sooner? You're so much more fun than the gang members." We cut to Aizawa, who's just would kind of smirk at that statement, and All Might would be like, what gang members?" We cut back to Izuku and, well, Toji, and, like, they've kind of gotten in sync. Izuku would move forwards, trying to slam his rock-like body into Toji. Toji would move around. Izuku would redirect himself using his snake tail for increased agility. Toji would use his quirk to teleport out of the way, only moving a few inches, Ultra Instinct style. And they, well, would keep this up for a little while before Toji would create a few portals underneath Izuku, and a few, well, long spikes would emerge, impaling Izuku on his soft underbelly. Izuku would pull himself off, and, well, enter what I'm gonna call his basic combat form, which is basically this, except for with the crests that I mentioned earlier, instead of the wings. Just think like if the wings were bony protrusions without feathers, and 4 nostrils around about the central face. Why? I will explain now. A. Your metabolism requires oxygen, and considering this is an 8-foot behemoth, it needs twice as much oxygen than the average person. And B, the reason it doesn't have eyes, but much rather those crests, is so that it can sense both heat and the electricity from your nervous system around it for 360-degree vision and better tracking when it comes to people it's trying to fight. So, yeah. And, well, the hairs on the tentacle here are used for even more sensory, being able to feel vibrations through the air, allowing it to pseudo kind of hear, see, smell. Well, the only thing this thing can't do is smell, but its tail back here, its tentacle, is basically just allows it to hear and see, whilst at the same time the frontal crests let it see in heat vision and sense your nervous system. So, yeah. Anyway, Izuku's body would rapidly reassemble itself and reconstruct, entering back into his basic melee combat form. Izuku's blades would extend, the liquid pouring from a few slits on them, igniting the blades. As Izuku would breathe out this cold mist-like substance, and then launch a beam of ice, icy fluid at Toji. Toji would create a portal and, put it above Izuku. The fluid would hit Izuku's body, and upon coming into contact with his body heat, would rapidly freeze. Izuku would, let out a burst of fire from his mouth and his, claws, once again the blades, referring to them as claws, as he would melt the ice. Toji would sigh, sweating. Well, he's sweating because this has been pretty exhausting for him, saying, "I never knew you could do that. If I didn't react so quickly, I would have been frozen to the wall." In case you're curious, the reason Izuku can produce fire and ice like that is simply chemicals. Think like the bombardier beetle. It produces an acid that only becomes acid when it comes into contact with oxygen. And, that could apply to chemicals that only ignite when, when coming into contact with oxygen, becoming an endothermic reaction, a chemical reaction that produces heat, and or it could be reversed, creating an endothermic reaction, I believe. Now, an endothermic reaction absorbs heat, rapidly cooling things around it and essentially freezing them. Well, if it's turned up to 11, it can essentially freeze things. Makes sense, makes sense. Anyway, we cut back to the viewing area, and Todoroki is like, wow, this, I feel like this thing just stole my entire gimmick. Like, Tokoyami is just blank. Tokoyami would just say, ah, I see. The Dark Lord has come. Well, he would just pull out a dunce hat, take a marker, or cross out the dunce line, and then write "Worshipper of the Dark Lord" on it, then just put it on his head, as he would say, "I'm not dying today." Everyone would just kind of give him a side eye before a lunch rush would just enter the room like, "Can I have one?" Memes. Anyway, yeah. We cut back to Izuku and Toji. Izuku's now just casually walking through Toji's hail of bullets as, well, Toji would just say whilst breathing heavily, You're not beating me today, Sue. He would snap his fingers as multiple portals would appear as basically a set of, well, okay, a bunch of sci-fi Gatling guns, well, laser rifles, would just appear out of the portals as Toji would say, turns out, I don't have to understand what my quirk makes to make it. As he would snap his fingers again and open fire, easily puncturing Izuku's bulletproof skin and essentially just causing him to turn into a pile of Swiss cheese. Like, not literally, but he would be shot and blasted through. His body would regenerate, of course, but like he's getting lungs and limbs shot off. He would collapse onto the ground as Toji would open a dozen or so more portals above Izuku, as multiple US missiles would just slowly emerge from them, all of them activating at once, firing down, impaling Izuku, and exploding. Now, Toji would, be panting, sweating, as he would be like, did that finally knock him out? As something weird would happen. While Izuku's body would obviously be charred, but for some reason his head tentacle would be regenerating faster than the rest of his body, as it would move up, prop him down, and Izuku would regenerate, put his fists up, then charge at Toji again, as he would say, "You never learn, do you?" As, for some reason, Izuku's head tentacle would stay in the ground instead of coming up to help him sense better, but Toji doesn't exactly pay attention to that, as he would create a flamethrower with a bunch of tasers strapped onto it behind Izuku, activating them all. Izuku would turn, thinking Toji teleported behind him, as Toji would create a spike wall in front of Izuku, impaling him. Now, something weird would happen. Izuku's head tentacle, the bit under the ground, would seemingly move underneath the spike wall. As, based off of a gut feeling, Toji would teleport out of the way, as a set of jars would clamp down at where he once was. Now, Izuku's body would be pulled off the spikes and dragged through the dirt, as a large trapinch-like creature would emerge from the ground, with Izuku's body as its tongue. it would seemingly multiply its tongues, splitting them apart and creating new Izuku bodies. As well, the creature would fully emerge from the dirt, and Toji would say, "Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Where are you even getting the energy for this?" The creature would just kind of, Izuku. The Izuku bodies would just kind of shrug. In case you're curious, this creature looks like Trapinch, with sharper star eyes. Its skin is paler, and it's fucking massive. Like enough to fit 8 Maharagas in its mouth. Comfort. And still fit a car in there as well. Like 8 Maharagas and 1 minivan. Like, it can fit the 8 Maharagas comfortably. My fucking mouth. Comfortably. Convert. Not convert. Oh my fuck. Brain Darksy. Comfortably. Sorry about the weird pronunciation. Brain fart moment. But yeah. Comfortably. Can fit it comfortably. There it is. Comfortably. In its mouth. As well, the creature would grow spikes on, claws on its nub feet. Well, it had claws already, for digging. No, the mouth did that. It would grow claws on its feet, as Toji would say, "What now?" As he would teleport up onto the building where this is happening, across from Bakugo and Ida, who are wrestling on the ground. Yeah, Bakugo's trying to explode Ida. Ida's using his engines to lightly push him out of the way, whilst trying to kick Bakugo, and they're just on the ground wrestling each other. As Toji would turn to face them and say, "Get a room, you two. You know cameras are watching." Ida would just kind of get distracted by this and say, "That is so uncouth." Bakugo would grab a piece of wood and smash Ida over the head with it. As well, yeah. Izuku would start scaling the building as his giant Trapinch self, using the claws to cling to the concrete. As Toji would say, "That's what those are for." As well, the Maharaga Izuku, so basic combat forms, the tongue ones, would all, go up along the building. In case you're curious why at several points during this fight All Might didn't tell Toji off for almost killing Izuku, it's practically impossible to kill Izuku. Like, if one cell is left, he'll be back within 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's almost impossible to kill him. But, yeah. Except for one way specifically. I'll get into that when it comes to that point, but like every quirk, Izuku has a weakness, and it's related to his metabolism. It's not what you think. But, yeah. The mouth tentacle Izukus, which scale the building, propped up by, the Trapinch main body, who's still scaling the building, and they would, run up it, claws extended, and burning, fire just coming out of them, as they would unleash a volley of ice. Toji would, create multiple portals, blocking them off, launching them at the Trapinch Izuku. But multiple vents would form on its body, and steam would burst from it, taking out the ice, stopping the ice, and the creature would somehow start climbing faster, because it can have a faster metabolism now, because it has just developed a method of heat exchange more efficient than just having a big-ass mouth. I'll explain how heat exchange if you're curious. I'll explain how heat exchange works if you're curious in the comments. I was actually kind of disappointed with this what if, but I'm actually kind of getting proud of it as it goes on. Anyway, yeah. Trap Shizuku would scale the building, its tongues extending as the 8 Mizuku tongues, well, basically these, would all, scale the building and eventually reach Toji as he would start teleporting and dodging and, moving around them, creating guns. Well, one would come after him, swing at him, he would dodge, create a gun by its head, armor-piercing explosive round, blast it, take off that one's head, severing the body from the trapinch as it would just go limp and fall down, as a new one would start to grow, as he would just teleport inside. The Maharaga Azugas would burst their way through, break their way through the wall, as Bakugo would just be like, "What the fuck?" We cut back to the observation room. A good portion of the class is in the corner with Tokoyami with their I Follow the Dark Lord hats on, including Lunch Rush. Nezu is also there. He's just sipping tea on top of them all. They're all carrying him, and he's just sipping tea, watching this whilst giggling, as he would say, "I knew giving the OPC Foundation all that dirt was useful. Well, would be entertaining, at least." As, just Aizawa's questioning life in the corner. Present Mike is just in the corner with him, freaking the fuck out about the giant bug creature. All Might is just unable to process this. Uraraka's crying under the table. Just everyone severely traumatized by this thing. But yeah, Toji would only be able to survive, but, the Zukas are obviously not trying to kill him, just trying to whoop his ass. As he would just teleport about, dodging, getting punched through concrete, and cut limb from limb, as, Ida would be like, "Okay, I get this fight is serious and all, but, this is not proper combat etiquette. An 8-on-1 is not..." Bakugo would hit him over the head with another piece of wood and blast his face. There are no rules in a proper fight, Glasses. There are no rules in a proper fight, Four Eyes. As Toji would just decide, fuck it, and he would create a large, not nuclear, but large rocket right behind the Trapinch Shizuku. It would go off, impale the Trapinch, stopping all the Maharagas for a few moments, and detonate, almost taking out the building, creating a massive hole in it and everything, as everything would be knocked unstable. Toji would stand up, sweating and breathing heavily, as he would use his quirk to teleport down to the carnage, down to where the Izuku body, Trapinch body now lays, as he would say, "Okay, there's no way you have enough calories saved up to recover that." As the Trapinch body would start bubbling, and Toji would get into a fighting stance, but its shell would snap in half. The shell wasn't destroyed, he just knocked the thing down, which kind of scares him. The shell would snap in half, and there would be no flesh inside, no muscle, no nothing. As, Izuku, in a basic combat form, with a slightly larger one, with more, with odd tattoos on it, would walk out, emerge from it, walking towards Toji, Toji would snap his fingers, creating multiple missiles and launching them at Izuku. They would go off, but Izuku would keep walking, almost unaffected. Toji would make more and more, even grenade launches, they would all go off but not hit him. Only with a grenade he would see this almost electric perimeter around Izuku, zapping the bomb, zapping the grenade, and causing it to detonate. Toji would prepare to do something absurd, as All Might on the speakers would go, Heroes win! Because Bakugo, while still wrestling with Ida, managed to touch the bomb, winning the fight. As Toji would, slump forward and say, Oh, come on, I was about to do something cool! As, Izuku's body would start steaming, and he would return to his normal form, almost instantly falling over as he would be like, Man, you worked through a lot of my calories. As a set of leaf-like appendages and protrusions would start emerging from Izuku's back, he's still wearing pants. His shirt was destroyed, though. But these leaf-like appendages would start emerging from his back, as he would just say, Yeah, that was one hell of a fight. Toji would put his hands in his pockets. His shirt and everything's destroyed, too. In case you're curious, everyone has canon uniforms except for Izuku, who just went with Izuku and Toji. Izuku went with basically just a scraggly, loose-fitting type of... He just went with loose-fitting pants. He didn't even bother with a shirt. Toji, just casual clothing. Those two decided, fuck it, I'm gonna style on everyone without even bothering to get proper hero costumes made. Still some of the most intense people. But, anyway, back to the what if. Toji would just be like, So that's how you managed to do all that. Photosynthesis. Izuku would nod and say, Yeah, managed to work out a more efficient method of doing it than plants. Fuck. Toji would just, walk up to Izuku and pull him up, let's go get some cuts done after today. Izuku would thumbs up, as, Bakugo would run down the stairs behind them, tackling the both of them, yelling, Why didn't you invite me to that one hell of a fight? Come on! You both know I'd whoop both of your asses. Oh my goodness, Bakugo. My ribs, they're broken. Yeah, Toji kind of broke his ribs. Please, stop. Bakugo would just hit Toji in the ribs again, yelling, Do you have any idea how difficult of a fight I had whilst you two were out here dilly-dallying? I could have used your help, Izuku. Izuku would just kind of gesture to the damage by them as, Ida would walk by using a piece of wood to, balance himself. He's limping. Yeah, but, yeah, I'm ending this video off here. Goodbye, my lovely, lovely audience. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.